Hey, Big Brother fans, Zingbot stopped by the BB26 house Friday morning to irritate the house guest right out of the gate, to get their weekend off to a bad start. We have a list of the insults the bot dropped despite production trying to shut down the live feeds every time they started to give details. Most of the house guests are pretty annoyed about their zings. We will give you the rundown, but please smash that subscribe button if you haven't. All right, let's start with the house target for the week. Angela got zinged about not being able to win in the end. She was bothered and then asked if Quinn wrote her zing. And Angela later complained to Kimo that she didn't like being called expendable. To be fair, she has won a fair amount of comps, but even if Angela somehow made it to the final two, she can't win in the end because of her behavior. Zing hit that right on the nose. I would have preferred she got zinged over Crazy Eyes and her charcuterie meltdown, but no. HOH Mackenzie got zinged about her feet. Zingbot called her a BB beast, and then something about how her feet are big and dirty, called them beast feet, is what it sounds like happened. That's not something I've noticed on the feeds, but Kim and Chelsea talked about it in private after Zingbot left. And Chelsea said the bottom of Mackenzie's feet do be dirty, and Cam said all the time. So, you know, mostly on the feeds I've heard Chelsea and T-Core dogging Cam's feet. So I don't know. I felt like Zingbot missed the mark again. Like, why not bring up that Mackenzie wants to marry her brother? Called him her soulmate on the live feeds. How can you not go there? Another really lame zing was Leah's. She got zinged for being a certified chubby chaser. I'm not sure how that's an insult since she is self-professed, open about it. She even talked about it in detail the other day about, you know, trying to put weight on the guys in the house. I mean, if Zingbot added something like, it's too bad Quinn and Joseph didn't pack on the pounds in the house, maybe Leah would have liked them. You know, maybe I might laugh. I think her simps are one of the funniest things all season, and they didn't really go there. Rubina got zinged about being short and loud. Zingbot said he couldn't see her, but if everybody laughs, then he can hear her. But then her main zing was about Tucker, basically that he was her whole game. She was his plus one, like that. Rubina said they must still want Tucker on the show and said that her zing was for the fans. The fact that, honestly, off the top of my head, I can't really think of another idea for a zing is kind of very telling. Rubina was Tucker's chick, and then the third of a conjoined set of triplets. So, meh, you know. Cam was pretty salty about what was said about him. Zingbot said Cam had no thoughts, no substance, no impact in BB26. Basically, the zing was that he's irrelevant. Zingbot also mentioned him meditating. The whole thing seemed to bother Cam a lot. He moped in the yard silently, crunching chips and stewing afterwards. And then later he ranted that Zingbot basically said he's not on the show. I mean, that's not him. That's production. That's Allison Grodner cheating him on the episodes and the feeds. Because Cam said weeks back, he rarely got called to the DR. I like Cam. I think he's kind of been unfairly backburnered for some reason by the CBS editors. I mean, the fandom had been calling him furniture, and I, you know, kind of agreed with that because we just didn't see him. And when we did, all they showed was him sitting. But again, I blame Grodner because after watching Junkie week, Cam is fun. He's adorable and he's got some entertaining skills. So I think they could have zinged Cam about him constantly needing to be petted and handled. Something about him, you know, acting like a toddler or an attention-hungry puppy because he's always in somebody's lap, something like that. So then Kimo apparently got a zing similar to Cam's. Zingbot basically was saying he's irrelevant and Kimo isn't even really playing the game. And Zingbot said something like, it's good that he's a mattress salesman because he puts people to sleep. Similar to Cam's pissy reaction, Kimo was pretty upset about that. The whole group kind of got together and had a little bitchy fit session about their zings. And he tried to make light of it, saying he can do what he wants because he doesn't matter. I mean, I would have zinged about Kimo's bro crush he had on Tucker, not knowing how to function without T-Core there to tell him what to do, asking why Kimo wears glasses since all he does is glare over the top of them. Other things to talk about. Chelsea got zinged in a couple of ways. The first, I don't know how this is a zing, but it was about her faith. And she said that was fine. But Zingbot did her dirty, apparently, on the second part. She said the second thing he said was cold. So reportedly, Zingbot said Chelsea's always talking about Leah, but at least Leah got a showmance, unlike Chelsea. And later in private, she was fussing about it, and Cam joked, and he said, it's true, but they didn't have to say it. And I think she threw something at him. Chelsea was also complaining later that she and Rubina were both targeted for their zings about a guy. Chelsea said she didn't need to hear relationship stuff about her and that they had nothing else to zing her about. I definitely think they could have gone harder on Chelsea about her and Cam. You know, I think it would have been interesting to reveal something he didn't know, like how Chelsea is always showing Cam socks and shoes and his drawers on the live feeds, and that once he sees what she said about him, it's going to go from showmance to no-mance, or something about her jealousy, other things they could have talked about. In the end, I feel like Zingbot, as usual, was pretty lame by the sound of it. Production needs to go to Twitter and look at how the fandom is roasting the house guest and what they're saying about them for some better ideas next year. We should see Zingbot Wednesday night on the 90-minute episode, and then Thursday's live eviction, of course, is a double eviction. And we will be back later today to confirm Mackenzie's nominations. They're running late because of Zingbot, so it may be a while before the nomination ceremony takes place today. That's all for now. Come back soon for more live feed updates, and please slap that subscribe button if you haven't.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.